Namo Namaha. My name is Mandar and I am here with Acharya Varsha Ji. We wanted to start our own YouTube channel content, and in light of that, we will have a series of discussions that we will post on our YouTube channel. And this is the first of the series, and the topic today is Bala Vishwe Sanskritam Kimartham. नमो नमः आचार्य.
नमो नमः. धन्यवादाः. नमो नमः सर्वेभ्यः. सम्यक् अस्ति, विषयः अति उत्तमः अस्ति. धन्यवादाः.
नमो नमः. So my first question to you, Acharya, is Vishwam iti, this word to me means creating your own world, right? But in today's world, we see that children are not getting experience to create their own world. What would you say that is different in today's world about creating their own world?
किञ्चित् संस्कृतेन वदामि अहं. बालविश्वं नाम किम्? यदि एतस्य प्रश्नस्य यदि उत्तरम् इच्छामः वयं चेत् यद् ज्येष्ठैः निर्मितमस्ति तत् बालविश्वं न भवति. बालाः किं जीवन्ति, तेषां जीवने तेषां दृष्ट्या किं किं नूतनतया पश्यन्ति, तस्य स्वीकारं कुर्वन्ति, तत्र तेषां निरीक्षणानि कानि इत्यनेन बालविश्वं निर्मितं भवति. अतः यदि ज्येष्ठैः निश्चितं यदेषः अनुभवः एतस्य बालस्य भवतु, सः एव अनुभवः तस्य भविष्यति एव इति नास्ति. वास्तविकी स्थितिः नास्ति इति ज्येष्ठाः चिन्तयन्ति. यद् मया चिन्तितम् अनुभवम् एषः बालः प्राप्तवान्, वस्तुतः तथा न भवति. तस्य बालस्य विश्वं तु भिन्नमेव. नाम यदि भवान् क अक्षरं पाठयितुम् इच्छति, सः कदाचित् तत्र केवलं गोलमेव पठेत्, कदाचित् अथवा दण्डं सरलं कर्तुं पठेत्. सम्पूर्णं ककारम् अहं दर्शितवान्, परन्तु बालः किम् अधीतवान्, किञ्चित् गोलं लेखितुम् अथवा दण्डं कर्तुं तत्र तस्य अवधानम् आसीत्, अथवा उपरितनरेखा कियती सरला आसीत् इति सः चिन्तनं करोति. तस्य विश्वं सः स्वयम् एव निर्माति. यद्यपि ज्येष्ठाः चिन्तयति यद् मया तस्य विश्वं निर्मितं, तथापि बालाः स्वयमेव तेषां विश्वं निर्मापयन्ति. अतः यत् बालविश्वमस्ति तत् बालभावेन अनुभूतं, बालैः निर्मितं बालविश्वं भवति. एतत् उत्तरम् अस्माभिः लब्धुं शक्यते.
बालभावेन बालैः निर्मितं
विश्वं बालविश्वम्.
बहु सुन्दरं.
तर्हि एतद् यदि if we explain it in English, we might say that experience which is provided by elderly people, means elders, is not their experience.
It's not their experience. Correct.
Their world is somehow different, their perception is different, their perspective is different. So their childlike life is totally different. By that life, whatever world they are experiencing, that world is world of child. And that world of child needs Sanskrit.
Needs Sanskrit.
So today we will discuss about how this they need Sanskrit. Why do they need Sanskrit in their world?
Amazing. I still want to ponder upon this topic about today's world.
Okay.
So you gave us the definition of Bala Vishwa,
Yes.
what it actually should mean. Yeah. So today there are experiential learning schools. Even parents are trying to create situations which they think they are experiential learning experiences. However, that type of learning, or even the traditional school learning, or traditional school experiences, are not what you mean by the definition you just gave us about Bala Vishwa. So would you like to shed some light on the current situation that
Yes,
children
it's
experience?
needful, because what elders decide that what type of experience child should get. According to that, they make it time bound.
Okay.
And surroundings are created directly which are attacking in the world of life, world of child.
Okay.
Which are attacking. They are supposed to restrict themselves to the time frame where what is expected that is to be done.
Okay.
So what is expected, they always keep searching. What is expected, I would do that. That what is expected, I would do that. So this is the trend which we have set in modern world, and elders decide what child should do at what time.
Oh, okay.
In culturally, in Indian culture, this is not the tradition. In Indian culture, each and every person is living his life to its optimum, and this life is observed by child.
Okay.
For example, if Krishna is playing flute for long time, other small kids are observing him how he plays flute so engrossed and with concentration, and he is enjoying his task. So in our culture, we experience that students are urgefully going to Guru, and they are urgefully saying that you please teach me this. I'll do some seva to you. I am ready to means surrender to you. I'll devote myself for this task, and you teach me. We get this many experiences that child decides that what do I want to learn, because they have this experience in their world that how people are living. People are living their life with their optimum concentration, optimum bliss of life, and they are enjoying the task. So when the task is enjoyed by elders, child observes that, and he decides that he has that perception that in what kind of task I would be engrossed, I would be to live my life to optimum. So this chance is provided in our culture, and why? Because everything is very slow. Life is made so slow and urgeful and prosperous. So why? Because if my mother is clearing grains, she'll take big sack and sit for long time clearing grains, and child is there. Still mother is not bothered of his experience. She is engrossed in his task. Still child is observing how she has devoted herself in the task, and how should I help her or how should I be there. He will decide on his own. So we get example in all the Sanskrit Natakas, in the Mrichakatikam, that child of Charudatta goes to Vasanta Desena's palace, and he crosses all the sections where versatile means lot of work is going on. Somewhere Kesharam Pinashti, they say. So somewhere they are
Saffron.
Saffron is yes, and they are grinding saffron, and there he went there and observed. So this is there, and no one stopped him, and no one expected that he should get some experience out of it. No, he went there and directly talked with Vasanta Sena. We have this example. Same example in Shakuntalam, Abhijnana Shakuntalam. There, the Sarvadamana is their son of Shakuntala. He is so free to play around, and he is allowed to count teats of lion. So how do we get these type of references? This is weird for us today.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we can understand that how the freedom was provided, and people were busy in their own task, while students were part of their life. So making kids part of our life is most important. If some pot maker is making pots for many 4 hours, still the child is sitting around or roaming around, and he is observing. No one is expecting that child should start making pottery pots and what he should do. It is not defined. Today in modern world it is defined.
So yeah, that's where I wanted to come back.
Yes.
Is because of the time boundness that we have put in place.
Yes.
We have segmented our own life into one segment and child's life into another completely different segment, and those two segments never overlap, and because of that the experiences are being forced onto them. They are not created by observing or by setting an example. Okay, beautiful. You Acharya, you also mentioned that in Sanskrit literature or in a Bharatiya tradition, we get to see so many examples where parent is so involved, or somebody around the children is so much involved, until what time frame would you say, from what time to until what recent times would you say we get to see these rich examples?
Means elders are involved in their task, and child is part of their life.
Correct.
So this has happened with Nachiketas also.
Absolutely.
This has happened with in Upanishad. Then this has happened with Harishchandra's son, because Harishchandra was not well and his son took oath to cure him.
Okay.
He started traveling to cure his father.
Yeah.
So this is the story. Again, and so this goes on in all the Sanskrit Natakas, as we see. The child is part of your life.
Right.
How in Vishakha Datta wrote which what's written for Chanakya, Mudra Rakshasam.
Mudra
In
Rakshasam.
Mudra Rakshasam, Vishnu Gupta, he decides his path. He decides that I'll take urge, means I'll take oath to stop this cruel dynasty of Dhananand, and I'll do this. In childhood itself, he takes the task, which is taken by his father, Chanaka. Chanaka was his father, and he has that urge to fight against the established dynasty, which is very cruel. So there he takes that urge to him, because he is part of his father's life.
Right.
So this is there, and then we can come forward till Shivaji Maharaj, because what experience was taken by Jizabai, she was living it to its optimum, and he was a part of her life. She wanted Torna first, means Prachandagad first, and she urged to have that power in her hand, and that's why he was part of her life, and he urged to establish Swarajya, and he took oath. He was not preached by others that you should do that, you should do that. He was part of his mother's life. He was part of his father's life. He was part of his the people around him in Maharashtra, how they were suffering, and he himself in childhood, he was part of that, and that's why he took the oath.
Absolutely.
So this example goes on, means till medieval period we get this example, and how we have lost in modern world, that we started deciding that what type of life child should have apart from our life.
Correct.
It should be separated from our life.
Correct.
As you said, it is segmented.
Segmented.
So now then after this started that child is no more part of our life. He doesn't get any experience out of our
So
life.
even until 1600, 1700, until the time of Shivaji Maharaj,
Yes.
we get to see these type of examples where Bala Vishwa, or the Vishwa, is created by observing, by parents setting the example, by having involvement and overlapping life around the children, by people, the parents and the people that are surrounding the child.
If parents are suffering, they will not say that he should not see my sufferings. No way.
Even in the suffering.
Yes, he was part of that.
So even from the suffering, they found life lessons.
So if parents were not getting job, or parents were not getting work, child was understanding that, and he was with them always. So in modern world, it is there, but it is somehow you are restricted to share your life with child.
Oh, absolutely. I will give my example. I mean, if there is something that bad happens, it is right now our natural urge to protect. We think that we're protecting our children by not presenting that information. But what you are saying, that our history shows that people have lived where they have involved their children even in the difficult times. Absolutely. Beautiful.
Yes.
Yeah. Now I want to bring our attention to our main subject. Why Sanskritam? Now we discussed Bala Vishwam. We discussed what we have seen through our history, what is the current situation. And I think what would be the blending point here would be is Sanskritam. Would you like to share some light on how Sanskritam or why Sanskritam?
बालविश्वे संस्कृतं किमर्थम्
किमर्थम्?
इत्यस्य उत्तरं यदि वयं चिन्तयामः चेत् संस्कृतं किम् अस्ति? संस्कृतभाषा एका अतीव नैसर्गिकी या कम्पनानाम् अतीव सामीप्यं साधयन्ति, अतीव किं वदामः अनाहत नादेन सह समुत्पन्ना भाषा अस्ति. तस्याः ध्वनेः परिणामः अस्माकम् आकाशतत्त्वे भवति. पञ्चमहाभूतेषु एकम् आकाशतत्त्वम् अतीव प्रधानं. कारणम् आकाशः यदि नास्ति चेत् अग्निः अपि न ज्वलति, जलमपि न तिष्ठति, न वायुः वाति, किमपि न शक्यमस्ति. So this Akasha Tattva is so prominent, and that is Shabda Gunakam Akasham. We get definition in Tarka Sangraha, where sound is guna of means Akasha's Shabda Gunakam means quality or guna is expressed through sound.
Absolutely beautiful.
So this sound itself, natural sound itself, is there in Sanskrit, which affects on Akasha. And child is having whole Akasha Tattva in him, Anahata Nada in him, and that's why this sound has effect on his inner part of brain.
Okay.
So Sanskritam has definite impact on inner part of your brain, which is a learning limb.
Learning limb. Okay.
Brain is what? You have brain, you will learn something. You
It
have
sounds
brain,
natural,
finished.
isn't it?
It's natural task of your brain that you learn, you grasp something, and you'll try to put it in the sequence. You'll try to systematize it, and you'll try to assimilate some experiences all together, and you'll get some meaning out of it.
Correct.
So this is task of our brain. So it will go on constantly. So if inner part is touched by that sound, you become so refreshed, your brain becomes so refreshed, and that Akasha Tattva helps that child to double his grasping about the world around him.
So what you are trying to say is, if a child is given an experience, or he or she experiences Sanskrit around him, you are saying that their grasping ability is doubled.
Yes.
So let's take an example of a tree. If a child is looking at a tree and he was surrounded by Sanskritam, what would you say about that? Just looking at a tree, that experience of a child, what would you have to say about
No, actually, what is that? If sound is vivid,
Correct.
if Akasha Tattva is very clear, then what happens? Child's perspective is very clean. I didn't see that. The statement is not followed. Most of the times we observe, we see that cup was in front and the child didn't see, and he says, "I didn't see that." Why? Because he was engrossed something somewhere else. But sometimes it is that our Panchajnanendriyas are not used to their optimum capacity. That's why something is not grasped at all.
Absolutely.
If we look at one tree, one can see only small leaves, one can see only big leaves, one can see only trunk, like that. But if you are clean with your capacities of your indriyas, your senses, then what will happen? You will have a very larger perspective where nothing is avoided.
Absolutely.
Nothing is, abandoned. So this clear grasping is developed through this sound, which is operating on Akasha Tattva inside you, which gives you vivid, optimum use of your eyes, optimum use of your ear, optimum use of your nose, optimum use of your capacities. This is possible because of Sanskrit.
Beautiful.
Yes.
Absolutely beautiful.
And this is proven scientifically that if you are hearing sound, what kind of sound will give you what kind of blood circulation, and what kind of dendrite connection. It is proven. So we have those references all together with us. So we can understand that if child is, we are not talking about teaching.
I was just going to ask you that.
Thank you very much. Yes.
I was just going to ask you that. Now we connected the dots between the Bala Vishwam, Bala Vishve Sanskritam Kimartham.
Yes.
We got answers to those questions.
Yes.
So if I want to move to a next point is to having children immersed into the Sanskritam. What do you suggest? My instinct says that teach them Sanskrit. That's my natural instinct. But I know your answer is going to be completely different. So would you like to?
Actually, what happens, every time we urge to teach them, so it is good that we are teaching them, but it is very restricted. It is time bound. It's for small time you can teach them, no problem. But in their experience, someone is speaking in Sanskrit. Sometimes they are hearing Sanskrit. Some people are fighting in Sanskrit, or some are discussing. So elderly people are using Sanskrit, or someone is singing in Sanskrit. These experiences around them nourish them.
Okay.
This is most important. So this will bring Sanskritam in their Vishwa.
Okay.
So should we make them Sanskrit Matrubhashi? I don't force that. I don't say that. But they should have that experience to listen Sanskrit around them. Elderly people are using Sanskrit urgefully. If they listen to that, then this will not be restricted to their teaching. You should learn Sanskrit because of your development. This will not
For
happen.
your development, no.
Yes, which is happening just now, that people are forcing students to learn Sanskrit, and they are saying that I don't know, but I don't want to learn it, but you learn it. So this is not the case. The parents should learn themselves, and they should start using Sanskrit on their own. This will give that flavor of Sanskrit
into children's lives.
into children's world.
Yeah.
So they will have that experience.
No, this beautifully ties back into your earlier point where you had mentioned that children learn by observation. So even where we want to bring Sanskritam into their world, Bala Vishve Sanskritam, if we want to bring that into their world, what you are saying is we should not be teaching them or forcing them or preaching them. Instead, if we ourselves as parents or as grandparents start experiencing Sanskrit ourselves, children are naturally bound to be attracted towards that, or by observation they will start picking up.
Yes.
And when the right time comes, yes, teaching of Sanskrit is there, but that's not how one should begin their journey towards this.
So that essence of child education was lived in our culture. Because if you want them to read, you start reading. If you want them to work, you start working. If you want them to speak Sanskrit, you start speaking.
Sanskrit.
This is our culture. This is our true culture. So this is essence of child development. I won't say child education again. So they are naturally developed, and naturally they come across many versatile experiences. So sometimes it happens that parents decide that I'll do versatile things, then my son will become versatile. So this doesn't happen. That if one parent should do lot many things, no, only one single thing you do so involved, and you are not there, you don't have any intention to teach him anything. He will observe you and he'll learn a lot from you.
This is so profound, Acharya. What I think I am getting out of this is, whatever it is, if you do that thing with lot of involvement, children will observe you. And just by observation, they will have the urge to learn something new, whatever it is. And Sanskrit will be another thing. If you start learning Sanskrit yourself, they will observe you, and that urge will be developed. Developing the urge for knowledge is what our culture was.
Yes.
And that's what we're missing in today's world.
Yeah. This is the fact that if we introduce Sanskritam in Bala Vishwam, their senses are vivid, means their senses are in their optimum use, and it happens that they learn lot many things in lot many situations from natural conditions.
So it's like a nourishment. The way
Yes.
food nourishes you, the Sanskrit immersion nourishes the child, and it heightens their five senses to a completely different level of experience.
Yes, yes.
Beautiful.
So, yes.
Bahut dhanyavadah. So this concludes our first lectures in series of lectures to come. Vagyajnakulam is our YouTube handle. Please like our channel. If you like the content, like our channel, subscribe our channel. Thank you very much.
धन्यवादाः.
धन्यवादः.